Hey guys, welcome back to Dr. Narration, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to the channel for more cheating stories like these.
Me, 22 male, just found out my girlfriend, 22 female, of 7/1/2 years cheated on me, slept with another guy. I'm whirling around like a top. I just received the most terrible news imaginable, and it's making me feel sick. The moment I realized what had happened, I went chilled and started trembling. I really wanted to vomit but couldn't. It's the first time I've felt this way since I destroyed my car and got myself into a whole mess of trouble. It's as if the worst-case scenario is there in front of your face. My girlfriend had been acting oddly recently. Something didn't seem right. She hardly looked at me when she came home from work, and when she did, she said nothing more than a basic hi, as if she didn't want to be recognized as my partner. We started talking about the matter precisely 1 week ago. She was tired of our relationship and worried that if it continued on much longer, she would grow to despise me. I was relieved when she admitted that she was right. That was my thought as well, since I had felt the same way the previous year. If you look at my post history, you'll notice a post I made to this subreddit with the same thoughts, which is quite helpful in explaining it. Even though I didn't want to wind up in a relationship with someone I still loved, I was bored and wanted to go out into the world without being recognized as someone who had been in a long-term relationship. Consequently, we agreed that she would find a new place to live and that we would separate or go on a break, as she put it, to regroup. You never know when we could get back together. It might be 6 months, a year, who knows. Then things became more weirder, and she seemed much more distant than she had been before. For a while, I put it down to the fact that we had allegedly broken up. But as the days passed this past week, I began to get the unsettling feeling that something sinister had happened. My awful sensation wouldn't leave my brain. We humans are very excellent at sensing things, and when you get that feeling, you know exactly what you're dealing with. So I went in search of the answer. My girlfriend is also a very good liar, so I knew I'd need evidence before I asked her out on a date with me. I did something I really didn't want to do. I went through her Facebook messages and replied to them. She had recently been conversing with and hanging out with an old female friend from a long time ago, and this was the topic of conversation I was listening to at the time. It wasn't long before I came to her and began talking about myself, and it didn't take long for me to come across the words that tore my heart out. I had another encounter with Luca. In the interest of full disclosure, my given name is not Luca. It gets worse when her buddy asks, "And how did it go?" To which my girlfriend replies, "Amazing." As soon as I got the opportunity, I confronted my girlfriend about it, and she categorically denied it at first, and then she denied it again and again. I informed her that it was unnecessary to lie any longer, since she was just aggravating the situation. She ultimately gave me a nod, and I returned the gesture before discreetly fleeing the site of the crime. This was not an instance of a woman returning home with a guy who was inebriated. While we were still at home, she said, "I'm going to stay with my friends tonight, okay?" I didn't give it much thought since it was nothing out of the usual for her at the time. As always, have a good night, and I'll see you in the morning. And don't forget to contact me before you go to sleep. I told her of the situation. Considering how obvious a lie and deliberate act this was, I'm becoming progressively more depressed. She did, in fact, send me a text message. After saying goodnight, she said she'd see me in the morning. I was relieved. She's resting next to a 26-year-old guy she met a month ago and has become fast friends with. Our relationship is over, but neither of us has a place to call home, so we're stuck in the same house until she can find a new place. I've been in a relationship with this girl for 7.5 years, since I was 14 years old. It's completely gone now. I'm not sure what to think. She hasn't seen me cry in 7/1/2 years, and last night was the first time. I'm quite good at keeping my emotions under control. The only person I've informed about this is a buddy who has relocated to another country and broke down in tears over the phone when she learned the truth about me. I'm just at a loss on what to do or what will transpire in the future. I meant to forget about her since she's moved out, right? I'm still completely head over heels in love with her. In the beginning, everything will seem normal. I'll get 2 feet off the ground, but as soon as I remember what happened, I'll be pulled under the surface. Not to mention the fact that I have to go tell everyone what occurred, including my family and friends, which is really embarrassing. Edit. It seems I didn't make it clear my apologies. She cheated on me before we discussed splitting up. I just learned about it last night. Edit 2. I'll write more tomorrow to assist folks understand why I'm writing here and why it's not as easy as, "Who cares, you've broken up now. We still love one another, or at least I did," she claimed. "I'm simply looking for anybody who has had a similar experience. Thank you for your time and responses. I'm off to bed now. I'm on the other side of the planet." Story 2. If they cheated on you, they'll very likely cheat on their future partners too. A quick summary of my relationship with my narcissistic ex-partner is as follows. We'll be together for a year. That is, the whole calendar year of 2020, so make your arrangements appropriately. 2 weeks before my birthday in December 2020, which was 2 weeks before my birthday in December 2020 arrived D-Day, I discovered that he was contacting ladies he met on Reddit using a phony phone number, which I was able to track down and identify as belonging to him. In addition, I discovered that he had been having encounters with a colleague for 3 months at the time of my investigation. I also discovered that he had infected me with HPV, and as a result, I had precancerous abnormalities in my cervix that I had been completely unaware of until now. I made the mistake of pursuing couples therapy with him, as well as individual counseling for myself and him, all of which were unsuccessful. During the second session of couples counseling, he had already began attempting to attract female visitors to his home for the purpose of working out. This was the last straw that convinced me that I did not want to see him ever again in my life. In December 2021, just a few days before the holiday season, his girlfriend approaches me to tell me that she has caught him cheating on her as well, and that she has alerted the appropriate authorities. During the course of the year they were together, she discovered that in addition to his girlfriend, he had slept with 6 other women. She was taken aback by this revelation, which she considered startling. His girlfriend told me how he was always open with his phone and laptop, never concealed anything from her, presented her, and his other GF, to all of his friends and family, and they didn't say anything to either of them, but he was the polar opposite with me. When it came to me, he kept everything a secret from me and his buddies as well as himself. He has cheated on me in every one of our relationships, no matter how he portrayed himself in those circumstances, and it is interesting to see. He had experienced a significant decline. In the end, I was able to show his innocence, since I was able to demonstrate that he only had one other female encounter while he was with me. However, SIX in a previous relationship. My mind has been completely blown. I'm sure he learned his lesson when I tried to have him fired from his job and expose him. Weren't you right, Mr. President? He was simply going to deteriorate more. She informed me that he was always making remarks about how nuts I was, of course he was, and that she felt it was remarkable how often he made general remarks about me. However, she claims that he has always been really considerate of her. What's more, I simply wanted to point out that I wasn't shocked when his next girlfriend reached out to me, as I had done the same with his ex-girlfriend before me while I was still in a relationship with him. In addition, his ex-girlfriend has now become a dear friend of mine, which is fantastic to see. In the past, I had shown a desire in getting in touch with his girlfriend, but I didn't want to be seen as the crazy ex, so I knew I needed to remain away until she answered. On the personal front, I am fortunate enough to be married to the most lovely guy a woman could hope to find. For years, I've been in relationships with people that were unsatisfactory and unconsiderate of me. It's taking a toll on my emotional well-being because of all of this. I've finally met someone that makes me feel confident and happy about who I am. He is well aware of everything that has occurred in my life and has been quite patient with me. In the aftermath of my narcissistic ex-behavior, boyfriends, I have a bone in my body that causes me to wonder what if on a daily basis, and I struggle to keep intrusive thoughts at bay. As a result of this experience, I will be altered for the rest of my life, but I will never again break my own personal boundaries if someone's words do not match their actions.